to show you the matting, and I've done some of it ahead of time, and I'm just showing you some of the steps that I've already taken on the other pages. So rather than show you me gluing every single thing, I just did a few things. So this is my page 1, and this is going to be the waterfall, the side waterfall. And so I've already glued some. I didn't leave the backs empty on the left. So on this side, I'll show you a couple, but notice that on this back page, I did 1 full page, and I did cut this, and I'll show you how to do that on this one. Okay, so if you have enough paper, you can go back and do the back sides, but I'm just going to use them for pictures anyway. So I do go 1/8 of an inch smaller, and so on these, what were they? I think they were 4 by 4, yeah. So these are 3 7/8 by 3 7/8, and then I went ahead and rounded the corners. And so when you cut those, you don't cover that 1/2 inch. Oh, this needs to be. I cut a separate piece for that 1/2 inch so that we can cover that. And then I go 3/8 on those. So always 1/8 of an inch smaller, unless you want a larger border, and I do that on the cover sometimes. Okay, and then you just center that and give it a burnish. So I went and did all the pages first, and then I'm going to come back and do those gussets, or those little 1/2 inch sections. Those are 3/8 for your decorative paper. Okay. Make sure you don't go over any of your score marks. Okay, so then that's that. So now on the front, I have that magnet. Same 4 by 4, so 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. Always put down your magnet before you put your pattern paper on. Remember to take off the backing. I got glue on my hands. Go close to the edge of your paper, but not all the way with your glue, so that when you burnish it, it doesn't squeeze out. And I want it to line up like the other one across from it, so it's about the same there. And then I will go back and decorate later. I'm just showing you some basic matting for the things that you might not have seen, or if you just want to make sure that you're doing it correctly. So on this one, because there's an angle cut, what I did is I laid this down where I wanted it, and I want to make sure that my angle is the same. So I took a pencil and I put a tick mark a little bit below where that corner is, and a little bit to the side of where the corner is, so that I can cut that at the angle that's already there. So let me slice that. And if it's not perfect, it'll be close enough that it should be okay. And then if you have any pencil marks, you're going to want to go back and erase those. Let's see how I did. I can live with it. So let me erase. I see just a little bit of pencil mark. Take the backing off. And on this one, we want to make sure we burnish it real well around that magnet, because it is kind of close to the edge where our paper is. And so when I say, I just want to make sure that that paper lays real flat around that magnet. Okay. And so there's our front. And like I said, I'll probably add something down here. I've got some things left over. So that was going to be the front of our first page. On the back of the second page then, I love using this glitter paper. And so on the inside, I went ahead and covered this because they're just basic cuts, 1/8 of an inch shorter. So then on the inside, I went with this paper and corner rounded it before I put it on. Always do a dry fit first. Maybe I want it this way. I don't think it matters, but yeah. And you can choose paper that doesn't match. I just kind of sometimes I like to have a pattern on the bottom and a solid on the top so I can decorate it a little bit more. Sometimes I go with the same pattern top and bottom. Just kind of depends. And there we go. All right, so on the inside here, I had cut using one of these dies, and I ended up not needing it or using it. So I decided I wasn't going to waste the paper. So what I did was I sliced it. So it was like this. And I sliced it so that I could have this here. And I'm going to make this a pocket here. Okay. And the paper matching is in. I wish I would have had a different color, but it'll be okay once I start adding some decorations. So that one was kind of a lucky, I just kind of thought at the last minute, instead of throwing away that decorative edge, to make that a pocket. So like I said in a previous video, I'm trying to use those dies as much as I can. I know that when you purchase these dies, you want to make sure that you can use them and get your money's worth. And these are definitely dies that you can use for different things. It doesn't just have to be with this folio that we had on our inside front cover. So then on this part, I'm just going to put glue on the bottom so it's more of a tuck spot. So just along the bottom. And I'm going all the way to the edge, making sure that I don't cross over that fold. All right, and then we have our tuck spot. I think that'll be cute. So then these close, and then I have the other pattern paper ready for this one. So what were these? 5, so they're 4 and 7/8 inches long. Okay. Again, look at the border that I have here. I'm trying to line it up the same distance, so I have the same amount of space. I love that paper. So some of the paper has more of a green look to it, and some of it has more of a blue look to it. All right, so then remember on this one, I had that envelope that came with the folio, and I'm going to glue that here. And I did put a magnet, and it opens. And when I glue this on, I am going to go all the way to the edge, but I'm not going to glue it all the way down, so it can also be a tuck behind it. So I'm going to glue like on the L. Now, when you turn this over, you're going to see the back. So I did put paper on the back a little bit there. So I'm just going to center this between my 2 pockets here, like this. And I'm going to put the glue, let me make sure. I'm just going to kind of hold my hand. It's pretty much to the end of this paper. Okay. And I'm just going to go along the bottom and the side. And I do want to make sure I put enough on the, you know, this is kind of a heavier envelope. Okay. And I think I'll just get a clip and let that sit for a little bit. And I'll get one more. All right, so then I'll go back and decorate, maybe put some little pieces of ephemera here and there. So that's page 1. Page 2 then, I already glued the top and of the flap. So on this one, I cut it to size, and you don't have to cut your paper to go all the way down to the bottom. So you'll see it's just enough to go underneath that pocket. But I was running low on paper, and so this one is real close to being seen, but I wanted to use it. So what I'm gonna do, just to make sure you don't see that little, see there's just a little bit of a cut. I don't know if you can see that. I can see the paper through it. So I have a trick that I'm gonna do, and I'll show you how I'll cover that up. I mean, it's not a trick, but it's how I'm going to fix it, because I wanna use that paper. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm noticing that I have some rough edges here that I want to make sure I file. I shouldn't have to, but that's just the cutter I have right now. I did remember use a combination of the 6x6 and the 12x12. This one's a 6x6. So what was our pocket? 5x6. So it's, is it 6? Yeah. So it's 5 7/8 by 4 7/8. Make sure you're happy with how everything lines up before you burnish it. So then again, you need this to be 5 7/8. Now, because I'm tucking it under, I only made it about 2.5 inches long. So I'm going to slide that, get that out of the way, slide that down, make sure that it looks good. Happy with that. Now I'm probably going to put this sideways just to make sure I can see the edges here. Make sure it's, yeah, that looks about right. All right, so let me tuck this one in. And this is where I can see just a hair of the white comes through. And like I said, I wanted to use it. I didn't want to waste it. So this was my way of fixing. And I will go back, like I said before, and add more embellishments. But I'll show you which one I'm going to put on there to hide that little space. That looks about right. It's pretty close. I mean, if you didn't know that that was the issue, I don't think you'd really notice. And I'm just going to glue that little flower right there, just to make sure. So just put glue on part of it. Okay, so that's all for that one. Now this side I'm not real thrilled about because it needs some color. So I'm going to go back. I don't know what I'll do, but it needs something. So Basic paper, did my corner rounding. These were 3.5, so I went 3 3/8. I think they were 5 long. Nope, 6. So they were 5 7/8. Did front and on the inside. So again, I didn't want to waste any paper, and I wanted a hint of red to show through to add a little bit of color. So what I did was I just cut this, and then I'm piecing it together. So this is 5 7/8 by 5. So I'm going to glue that one down. I wanted to have some flowers poking through the bottom to give it some interest. Oh my gosh, this drives me nuts. Okay. So I'm going to glue this one down first, then I'm going to glue the top one, then I'll glue the middle piece, just to make sure that I get it all the way to the top and the bottom of my page. Double check that you're not going over any of those score marks from the flaps. So then I went with this one because I had it pre-cut and I didn't obviously want that space. I'm going to turn this upside down so I can see it better as I glue it on. And then the glitter paper is 1 inch wide. Okay. Really making sure those corners are down. And then I'm just going to go ahead and lay this down across like so. Trying to make sure that it's even, which is the tricky part for me. And I'll probably add some embellishments on the inside flaps just a little bit. Okay, let's get this lined up. I gotta look at it. Actually, I think that is even. If not, it's pretty close. Okay, and I don't know what I'm going to do for this yet, but it needs a punch of color. And I don't have any more of that red from that Graphic 45 collection that I was using. I used all that I had, and I looked in all my stuff, and I didn't have any more. But that's why I wanted the red there, but it definitely needs something right there. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to do, but okay. So that's page 2. And what was the front? This was the front. So page 3. Let me get my stuff. So this has this flap here, and this was a pocket. And this is a belly band. So I did some paper piecing in here, left a spot in here for the pictures, just used my scraps. I didn't like the little white in between the two pieces, so I did put some of that. That was from the border strip. So on this one, I glued a piece of paper, but it was just about 1/4 of an inch too short, so I made it a pocket by adding this piece. So because this is a belly band, you don't have to cut your paper to go all the way underneath. So my pieces ended up being about 2 inches. Okay, and I'm going to just slide that a little bit underneath that band, like so, just enough so you don't see. Make sure I got that right. Yeah. Okay, that's right. I used to put the whole piece of paper behind it. It's a waste of paper to do it because nobody's going to see that. And it was always hard to get that paper underneath there without it getting stuck. That was always an issue for me. Okay. And I'll have tags or something stuck inside that pocket. Now I'm going to do this one. I'm going to turn it upside down. And go like this. Okay. What did I do before? Art glitter glue. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine using that score tape for all this matting. It would take a lot longer for sure. And I get to the point where I just want to be done. Like, I love the book and I'm happy with how it turns out. But after a while, I'm like, okay, let's just wrap this up. All right, and I'll probably, you know, I've got some ephemera. A lot of what I have left is more of a green color, and I need more of a blue on that page. Like, I really like this, but it's too green. So we'll see what I've got. I've got some of those border strips with words on them. I still have some candy canes. That definitely red would be good. But then maybe a word or a phrase there. We'll see. So then this closes and then this closes, and then we'll have a card to tuck the under here, or a tag, so that it keeps that flap down. But I wanted to add some sparkle so that when you close this, you could see a little bit of the glitter paper. So I cut these 1-inch strips, and I'm going to put those at the edge. So I'll do that first. So I got to tuck that underneath there. Looks about right. I'm going to turn it upside down to do the other one. Excuse me. Okay. And I was going to leave it white, but I didn't think that looked right, so I went ahead and cut this, and that's just going to go in between these two pieces, like so. Slide that under, make sure it's going in between these two. It's got to go down a little bit further. Now it's got to go up. So there, I like that little punch of color. And obviously this is not what I'm going to put in there, but then having something in here will keep that closed, that flap. Okay, so that was all for that one. Now on this side, I haven't put any paper here yet. I'm waiting to see. Actually, maybe I forgot to cut it. That's why that's what it was. I forgot. I'll have to go back and cut that, but you will see that I have the last of the red on this little flap with the glitter paper, and I did that for the front piece also that I'm going to glue down. Then I'm going to punch a hole because we're going to have our card about right here, and I'm going to punch a hole in the card so that I can tie it shut. And I'm only going to glue it on 3 sides so that I can tuck something behind it, okay? So I already did my, some decorating here. I got that pom-pom trim from Country Craft Creations a while ago too. I'm pretty sure they, I think they still carry it too. But I wanted that little flappity-doo thing to be more sturdy, so I double layered it, and just because I wanted that punch of red, and I really wish I had more. All right, so I had already kind of laid this out to see where to put these 2 elements just to make it pop a little bit, and I'm gonna go about right there. And then I'll punch holes. I have this for a hole punch. It's smaller than a normal one. So I'll probably use twine or something to combine it. So again, let's just put glue on 3 sides. I have so much glue on my hand right now. Okay, that's right. And then that will keep the little flap shut. And about right there, I think. And then that opens. And let's make sure. Yep, good, okay. All right, so this thing is not easy to use and line up because I can't see where things are. So I'm gonna try and just center, let's see. I'm not good at this with this thing, but I like the size of it, so I'm trying to see where that hole ends up. Oh, well, that is really bad. So that really, oh. Well, how am I gonna fix this one? I'm gonna have to trim this. All right, I'm gonna fix it, don't you worry. I'm not gonna waste that red paper. Okay. Kind of, let's see. Where's my scissors? I can't believe I did that. Yes, I can. Yeah, you can still see a little bit of a hole. Hopefully when it's tied, you won't see it. Ooh, that's so irritating. Maybe I don't want to use this one then. I'm going to have to. I'm just going to have to move it down further. There we go. Okay, so then I need to put a mark about where I want it, about there. So I just drew a little pencil mark where I want it. Can I see the pencil mark? Yeah, right there. Okay, and I'm kind of nervous. It might not be even. Yeah, they're not even, but I'm gonna, you know what? This is for me, so I can live with it. Unless I make a bigger hole with a different punch. You know what? I might do that. I might go back and make a bigger hole, make it taller, bigger on the top, bigger on the bottom here so that they line up. Let me see what twine I have just to see what it looks like. Might not be the right color, but let's see. Do I have some? Yes. So this is just to see what it looks like. I won't probably use this one. I've got some. This has silver in it. Oh, always have to have a little oops here or there. At least when I do things. Okay, so let me cut this. Don't want to cut it too short. That would be my luck. Okay. So I don't think you're going to be able to see that little oopsie with the hole cutter or the hole punch. So I'll leave it like that for right now. That's not bad. Yeah, I can live with it. And then I'll probably, I don't know, maybe I'll put a mat here. Let's see. I don't know what I have left. I don't want to cut anymore and waste any more. So maybe would it look all right to have a piece like this here? I don't know, maybe it's too much. Maybe I'll just leave it. Okay, and then this would flap open. I got to remember to put a piece, I'm going to write myself a note so I don't forget to go back and cover that one page. Oopsie. Just dropped my pen. Are you kidding me? Well, I'll have to look for it. Huh. I don't see it. Oh, shoot. Oh, you know what? I got this magnet. Maybe that will help. Or not. Oh, yes, it did help. I think I found it. Oh, it did. Whew. That was pretty handy. Okay, sorry about that. Let's move on. Okay. So that's that one. And now we just have one left. And I did most of this one because it wasn't hard. So the magnets I covered with the glitter paper. I put the season's greeting and tucked a little bird underneath there. I don't really like the way that looks, but that's the way it's going to stay. Put in this paper, made a little tuck spot here, so that's open. And then down here, remember, or up here, this one opens to the center. So open up, bring this down, and then I have a little tuck spot here. Okay. So I did all that off camera just because it was pretty basic. On this side, like I said, whenever you have a belly band, you don't have to use a full sheet. So I cut this. What was the image? Sorry, I checked that. So these I did about 2 1/4, like so on each side. So let's glue those down. There we go. All right. Make sure you have the same amount of border, top and down here and up here. It's pretty close. Let's tuck this one underneath the belly band next. Slide it under. Line this up on both sides. No, that's not. Let me try that again. What the heck is my problem all of a sudden? All right, let me re-glue that. I didn't like it. I didn't like how it lined up on that side. All right. There we go. All right, so then I did go ahead and I matted the cards that I'm going to put on the front. And then on the inside, I left this blank for either writing or for a picture. And I did put this on the top of both of these, just kind of for weight, just to kind of hold them down a little bit. When I looked at it, I thought it still needed something. So I'm going to tuck this piece of ephemera in between, like so. So you can see, or maybe, do I want a smaller one? Let's see if I have a smaller one, but it has to be kind of that greenish blue color. So I have this one that might be, got the wrong color. Maybe I'll do that one. Yeah, I think I like that one better. So let me center this, and I'll just put glue in the center. So this is 8 inches, so at about 4. And make sure I like the layout here. I like that. Put a good burnish on this glitter paper. All right, and now I'm just going to glue down a strip down the center. And about, it looks like about 3/8 of an inch from the bottom. Open it up and burnish it. And then I'm going to turn this upside down so I can see that I'm about 3/8 from that top part too. Just put glue in the center. Need to refill my glue. Make sure it's straight. That looks good to me. And burnish that one down. All right, so that's that. Now might go back and put some things on the corner. So let's take a look at how this will flow when I put everything in the book. Pre-decorating, of course. So then we have this page. It's a good thing that's bright, but I think I need to add some glitter or something. You know what? What I have, did I already use it? Nope. This is just an example. Like I have these words on glitter paper. Maybe I'll do something like that. And then maybe, because it has to be more of a, well, this kind of ties in with this, so maybe that would work. Yeah, I might do that. I think that's okay because of this bringing it out. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Okay, and then when you turn it over, these two will be side by side. And then when you turn these over, these will be side by side. And finally, the back. All right, now when you put your pages in your book, I'm not going to do it right now because I want to finish decorating, but I want to show you how I do it. This is how I'm going to do the closure. I have this ribbon from Country Craft Creations from a while ago. I think the color is just right. For my covers, all I did was I took the glitter paper and then I cut the decorative paper 1/4 of an inch smaller so that you could see more of the paper. Okay, and I did that for the front, the spine, and the back piece. Okay, so the glitter paper, the book is 6 1/2, so this was 6 3/8. It's 8 1/2, so it was 8 3/8. Yeah. And then the spine I left at 2 1/2 because by the time you add the front and back cover, that can stay 2 1/2. So then I take 1/4 of an inch from the glitter paper. So I don't know how I'm going to decorate the front yet, but then you're going to just, I start at the back, and what you're going to do is you're going to lay this down on top of this hinge and make it straight. And what I do, I don't go all the way to the bottom. You're going to give yourself about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom so that it lays flatter. You're going to put glue on the top 1/8 or the top part of the hinge, or you can just put a bead of glue here and across the bottom. And then you're going to close that after you put glue now on the top of the hinge. Okay, put it on the top here, and remember on the bottom, and then you just bring it over and close it and push it down until it's adhered real well. Okay, then you're going to do the same thing for the next one. You're going to lay it down, not all the way to the bottom, about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom, and you're going to make sure that it lines up with the page behind, top and bottom, and glue it. And you're just going to keep doing that till you get to the front. Okay, so that's all for my tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and finish the decorating. I'm going to do a walkthrough, so if you are watching this and you haven't seen the walkthrough, I'll link that in the description box. So all right, thanks for joining me as I went through this. I think it's going to be real pretty once it's all put together. And most of the stuff, well, almost 100% of it came from Country Craft Creations. I'll link the pages, the website pages in the description box also. And enjoy. I hope you make one, and I think you're going to love this paper.